Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel and also welcome to this YouTube video, right? So today I shall be providing you with the next week's market outlook, right? Specifically the week that is starting on Monday, 20 October, right, of this year 2025. So basically, guys, first of all, I would love to apologize. I've been quite silent for long, and this video marks the the resume of my consistency. To be honest, there's an aspect of my life that I was managing at the moment, but it's not something to worry about any longer because I'm back, guys. So let's dive into this market outlook. It's just going to be brief and short, right? And insightful, right? Because my main aim for you guys is just to help you, right? If you look at all my social media platforms, you'll be able to see that I named this group MSM Foreign Exchange or Trading Academy, right? It's an academy, it's a place where someone must be able to learn, right? To gain something that is foolproof, logical, and something that you can implement on your own, which is something that you can't easily get on the internet. It is what everyone claims to offer, but they can't even give it for free. So if they cannot give it for free, you think they are gonna give it for a payment? No. I've been trading for as long as possible, and since I started trading, I fell into a lot of scams, right? I've simply done everything that you think I could have done in trading to the point that led me to solitude. I had to rise up myself. I had to do it myself in conclusion. So, guys, I'm just doing this for you. I'm striving to fulfill my ambition to provide something that is lucrative to the trading community, something that hasn't been regularly seen anyway, right? So, with that said, let's dive into this market. So, first of all, we look at the higher time frames, guys. The higher time frames, of course, to those who understand my style of trading, of course, those are my students. Of course, they understand that I use something called time frame selection, right? These higher time frames, I usually select them when I'm at the start of that specific higher time frame. For example, we've got the monthly right here. So the best time to be looking at the monthly is at the end of a month and proceeding into a new month. That's when it's necessary to be looking at that time frame. And the same goes for time frames above the monthly or even below, up to the daily, right? So, but of course, to make this simple, logical, so that this makes sense for you. That's why I'm starting off from the what? From the monthly, but I'm just browsing, right? So here on the monthly, we had the SMT. Before the SMT, of course, our draw liquidity was this low. It's still and those equal lows on GU, right? By the way, I trade EU and GU. Those are my only pairs. And if I'm looking for an SMT, it's from this space. I don't need anything else, right? So we have that low, we have these two lows. So that's my draw liquidity. It was and it still is my draw liquidity. And then we have the SMT, right, and key level, right? Especially here on G, you can see that price bridged above that range high and created this order block. It makes it more lucrative since it purged liquidity, right? So most likely price is edged to reverse because of what? Because of the liquidity sweep. And so, with that said, my monthly bias is bearish, right? On both pairs, right? So then it moves us to the important time frame that we are supposed to be looking at based off my time frame selection system. So, of course, we are moving into a new week. So, most reasonably, you should be starting from the weekly time frame, right? So, firstly, we have the order flow, right? Undoubtedly, prices been rejecting highs and breaking lows, right? Rejecting highs, breaking lows, and we've got the up close candles that got engulfed. You can see that they are consistently propelling the market down. So it is the same thing. If I'm expecting price to continue with this bearish order flow, it should be from this specific candle, right? It should be from that specific candle. And same goes for GU price rejecting highs, breaking lows, rejecting highs, breaking lows. And these candles are still important to me, these up close candles, because those are the only ones that can propel the market what? Downwards. And so, with that given, then I have conviction for my drove liquidity to still be this low. Why on the weekly would my drove liquidity be that low? If you look carefully, price created this high and this low, right? Range high, range low. And price continued to create another high at that particular point, another low. In between these two major swing points. So that gives a hint that this is a range bound condition. So once it's purged, of course, you wait for a model one. You don't wait for a model one as such. Yes, you do, but not as such in this kind of scenario. What you're expecting is price to be drawn towards the 50%, which I believe has already been reached. Let me just check. Yes, it has already been reached. So at the 50% of a range, write this down if you don't know this. Price is going to make a turtle soup, right? Whether it's that particular time frame or the time frame lower, right? Of course, it's impossible for a higher time frame, maybe, but I'm not really, right? It's usually the time frame which is the weekly or lower, right? You're going to get a turtle soup at around that level once it's reached, and we have three types of turtle soups, two types of turtle soups. We have reversal turtle soups and continuation turtle soups. So when price reaches the 50% of the range, you're bound to either get a reversal or a continuation. So of course, since my drove liquidity is still intact and I have my higher time frame key level, it is of my conviction that price should still be drawn towards the what? That drove liquidity, right? Yeah, that remains my verdict. And so, if you look at GU, GU is being has quite been interesting. On GU, what we've got, we still have these equal lows, right? We still have these equal lows and higher time frame SMT pushing prices lower. So hopefully, faithfully, we still hope to see lower prices on GU on the weekly. So that makes everything now simple. What's now simple? What is simple now is that my draw of liquidity still exists towards the low, right? That low, and this low, even the one, the equal lows, right? Then my bias is bearish off from the up close candles, right? So as I move on into the next week, I'm expecting lower prices. I'm expecting a red, sorry, not red, a black. Yeah, of course, maybe on your chart it might be red, it might be whatever, but I'm expecting a bearish sell candle, right? Down close candle. That's what I'm hoping to see. So that means we should be now going on to the daily. So as we move on to the daily, sorry, I'm a bit sleepy. It's late and it was unexpected for me to come up with this decision to be giving you guys an outlook. So yeah, gotta deal with it. So so right, just a moment. I'm trying to get my time frames in place. Right. So we move on to the daily. Then on the daily, what can we see? Wow, the daily is quite interesting, guys. The daily is actually quite interesting. But let's be calm and understand what's going on. So first of all, on the daily, we've got a high time frame key level, which is that up close candle that got engulfed, and we're expecting it to propel price downward, right? And same goes for GU. But on GU, what I can now see is that even on the daily, if we are to, it's not the daily, it's the weekly. If we are to view the weekly, you can see that we have an SMT, right? It's a symmetrical difference that signals for a reversal with an SMT, and it really signaled for bullish prices, and that's what happened. Tuesday created the low of the week into that key level, then price propelled upwards. And so with that, on the daily on euro, it's quite clear that price has now been reversing off that refined higher time frame key level. So on Monday, I'll be expecting lower prices, right? Lower prices is what I'll be expecting. You see that the refined key level, it's the weekly key level. So from a weekly key level, you can tailor that with a what to align it with a daily candle range, CRT candle, right? If they are formed just below, right? Like what happened. So on Monday, it's simple. My draw of liquidity is the CRT low. It is of my biggest assumption that price is going to reach the CRT low. I'm not gonna bet my life on it, but I'm gonna bet my words on it, right? That price is most likely to reach the CRT low, at least to liquidate, to balance liquidity left right there, that gap, right? Then price can create higher prices if it wants to, but still, that's not what I'm expecting to see from price, right? And yeah, we did have a range framework, but it's not really much of my style. It's not really that much of my style. So I'm expecting Monday's bias to be bearish, and my draw of liquidity is the sell side. I made everything clear. At this point, I'm spoon feeding totally. So then, on the daily on GU, yep, price has been propelling towards this premium key level. So, yep, it's still of my uttermost hope to see price propel then from those key levels, right, to create lower prices and be sync with what? With EURUSD. But of course, if price decides to do something different, we start from there, right? Yeah, because you can never be so broad, right, to understand everything. Usually, you understand whatever you need to understand with time, right? So yeah. So then, since I've given you my daily bias for Monday, my daily draw of liquidity. Yeah, especially on EU right there where it's much more clear. I will say that I'm glad that I got to be able to give away something insightful, something that I can actually help someone. So, cheers, everyone. Happy trading as we approach this new week. Sure. Cheers.